Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. So Tom Fitzgerald has been making moves. Today's trade, great trade for Tom Fitzgerald and what he did. He was able to trade Erik Haula and pick up a pick and a prospect and get all of his $3.15 million cap hit off the books. So the Devils gain a bit more cap space to make some moves to enter into this free agency period. So picking up Lammikko earlier in the week, this is Tom Fitzgerald making some moves. So I want to talk about that in this video. I also want to talk about where the Devils what the Devils can do with their remaining cap space and how their roster currently looks with what to do for this upcoming season. So please stay with me throughout. So earlier in the week, the Devils signed Juho Lammikko to a one-year, one-way, $800,000 contract. And then today, they were able to trade Erik Haula and all of his contract, his $3.15 million contract, to the Nashville Predators for a 2025 fourth-round pick and defenseman Jeremy Hansel. So for me, I don't know too much about Lammikko. I don't know too much about Hansel. For me, Hansel, I think decisions will come later. Can he be bought out? Can he play in other leagues? He's not going to play on the Devils. The Devils have their defense set up. So the basic thing of this trade was to get Erik Haula's contract off the books, and Tom Fitzgerald did a great trade picking up defenseman and also picking up a fourth-round pick. So great trade by Fitzgerald in this, and hopefully he can make some more moves going forward. And also picking up Lammikko, I don't know too much about him. I know he played a little bit in the NHL, went to play overseas, put up some decent numbers the past couple of seasons, and, is a fourth-line grinder type of guy, and he can play center and wing. So I have him penciled in right now as our fourth-line wing. For me, I don't know which way Fitzgerald's going to go with this roster going into this next season, but, to have a fourth-line wing at $800K is not bad. It's only a year, so there's no commitment to him going forward. We'll see how it works and see how he comes into training camp and see how he battles and competes for roster spots. So in this video, I want to talk about what the Devils, have to do. They have to make some moves to clear up some more cap space because the extension to Luke Hughes is going to take up a huge chunk of it. So, let's look at where the Devils are right now. Looking at, what they can do. I have the first line in question, with Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt. You need another winger for that line, so that's where you need to clear out some more cap space. The second line, I have what I've liked to see from these guys with Hischier, Meyer, and Nason. I like the way that line looked, so I have them in this line for now. Third line, I have Cotter. I have Mercer there still for now, and he's definitely one of those names that can be traded to. Carries a $4 million cap hit, so maybe we see something with Mercer, but if you trade him out, you have to have a piece that's better coming in, and that's what is going to be a question mark to see what Fitzgerald does. Then I have Arsenij Griciuk on that wing for the third line, and the fourth line, I have Lammikko. I re-signed Cody Glass, and I also brought up Hallinan. For me, Hallinan, I like what he did last year. He put up some really good numbers playing with the Utica Comets. He's been one of those players that he's come up here and there, not played too much in the NHL, but he's put up some good numbers in the NHL where I feel like if you give him a good shot on the fourth line, maybe he can prove himself. Maybe he can definitely be better than what Nathan Bastian, Dowling, and all those players brought last year. So maybe it's time to give Hallinan a shot to see what he could offer, or the Devils can look elsewhere. There's a lot of names out there that are potential free agents or players that might be bought out from their teams to create some cap room to make signings. So there's going to be a lot of possibilities that happen this summer. There's a lot of cap space out there that's been increased for each team. And, we'll see what happens with Fitzgerald and what names he wants to bring up there or sign. But in this case, I just brought up Hallinan just to play for now, just to see how it looks on this. And then the defense, I have Siegenthaler and Hamilton on that first pairing. Then in the second one, I re-signed Luke Hughes, with Pesci, and then you have Dylan and Shimon Nemitz. Kovacevic has stated in his exit interviews that he was dealing with an injury, he had surgery, and he's not going to be ready for the start of training camp, so you have him on the IR to start the year, or LTIR, or whatever. So his $4 million contract not going to go against the books. And then I have Seamus Casey as the extra and McDermott. So, and in net, you have Markstrom and Dawes. And that's a question mark to me. Are they going to bring back Allen, who says he wants to come back, or do you keep Dawes and have him be that backup for the Devils going forward and give him the shot to be the backup for Markstrom? So, in this situation, bringing up Hallen in, he has a $775K, so that's not a lot looking at cap-wise. They brought in Lammikko. He's got a one-year deal for $800K. That's not bad for a fourth-line wing. Griciuk is $925K for this upcoming season. I signed Luke Hughes to a 6-year, $8.3 million contract. There was this thing going around social media about some analytic things saying that that's what his projected contract may be. A 6-year deal for $8.3 million. It's a bit less than what Brock Faber got, and you see the comparables between those two defensemen, so kind of falls in line what he's going to get. I think it's anywhere from 7.5 to 8.5 in that range. So, we'll see what happens, but I just wanted to put something on this graph of what the cap space for the Devils might be for the upcoming season. I just put that contract in because it seemed reasonable. And then I signed Cody Glass to a 2-year, $2 million contract. Can he get more? Can he get less? But I figured 2 is okay. He made 3, I think, last year, so 2 isn't far-fetched to get. And plus, he's been in situations where he's played in the AHL. Maybe this is his last shot to play for the Devils, and he takes less on his next deal. So, this is what you're looking at with the Devils. With this, they have 4.86 left in cap space after the signings with Luke Hughes and the signing of Cody Glass, and they also bought out Palat. Buying out Palat, and I'm only doing buying outs because I don't know if a lot of teams are going to want to bite on Palat's contract. That's one contract I hope Fitzgerald can get off our books and trade off, but it may take a sweetener for a team to pick up a player like Palat, who, of course, you want to get him for a playoff push, but, a lot of teams that have the cap space, some of them aren't playoff teams. So, you might have to give a sweetener for a team to take him. But, looking at if you buy him out for this upcoming year, it saves $3.53 million. The following year, it saves $2.53 million. And the year after that, it saves $1.48 million off the cap. So, that's a decision that Fitzgerald needs to make. But I think we're going to see something happen leading up to free agency. You're going to see a lot of teams making these moves to see what happens. But, looking at this roster, with just re-signing Hughes, with re-signing Glass, and bringing up Griciuk and Hallonen and Lammikko, and, not making too much outside signings. The Devils don't have a lot of cap space, so they have to make some moves. Will it come at the expense of trading Andre Palat? Will it come at the expense of trading Mercer? Or do the Devils go big and maybe Hamilton's a player that'll be in play? It's a lot of decisions to make, but the big thing is there's still that blank spot next to Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt, and the Devils need another top 6 winger. Hopefully they could find it, through free agency, but we've seen the contracts be overinflated during free agency where the Devils have to always offer a bit more. Maybe Fitzgerald goes the trade route and picks up a player from another team that needs to clear out cap space to make their decisions on their free agents they want to sign. So, it's a difficult decision for Tom Fitzgerald, but, it's something that he has to decide. Does this team on paper, whatever he's going to make decisions going into this upcoming season, can it compete with the Florida Panthers who just won the Stanley Cup? That's where I hope Fitzgerald's mind's at. I don't want him to be another year of, we look better on paper, but it's time. We don't want to waste more years of Hughes in his prime and Brad in his prime and Nico Hischier while we have them under these contracts that are good. Because once their contract's up, they're going to get paid a lot more. And I know the cap's going to go up drastically in the next couple of years, but, you have them under these good contracts now where, you don't want to waste years of their prime. And I hope Fitzgerald is looking at his team on paper of what he wants to do and compares it to can we take on the Florida Panthers if we're playing them in a 7-game Stanley Cup series, which the Florida Panthers are a beast of a wagon. They're a team that's built from top to bottom, And they got players who can score, they can play physical, and we've seen it the past couple of seasons, and especially this playoff run. They're just a team that will beat you any which way, and that's what I hope Fitzgerald kind of decides with fixing this upcoming year's roster for the New Jersey Devils. So comment below. What do you think about this? Do you think it's too difficult of a job for Fitzgerald to do heading into next season? Or can he make these moves and create some more cap space where he can bring some players in to help this team out? Comment below and let me know. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time. Smash that like button if you haven't done so, and subscribe to the Hockey Skatedown. It's free. And join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.